You can see a type of learning that you really didn't think was possible among teenagers.
Mary Ward is a really unique place. What I love about it is the flexibility that we have. So students don't have timetables in the same way as they do in a traditional school. They don't follow bells. They suit what their learning needs are.
By not having regular classrooms, we're removing a lot of the barriers that students have to allow them to explore their own learning.
One of the biggest goals of Mary Ward is to teach our students to be self-directed and independent learner. So hopefully we help them, support them in developing all the skills that they need to learn new things in life as they come along.
So Mary Ward is very different. I mean, virtually every school in the country and around the world operates on the same kind of model. And it was a model that was invented in the Industrial Revolution to mimic the factory. Very, very efficient. That is, put people of the same age, the same grade, and studying the same discipline in basically a box. We call that a classroom. Fantastic things may happen in that box. And there's another box beside it, which is a different discipline and a different grade, and so on and so on. That's the way schools have been, that's the way I was educated, and I'm sure that's the way you were educated. But at Mary Ward, we asked the fundamental question, is that system of boxes, like a factory, the best way to learn? Do we put them in that kind of situation because people learn best that way? We also have a clock that dictates when people start learning and when people stop learning. Not because they are ready to stop learning or ready to start learning, but because there's a timetable that we must follow. We would argue at Mary Ward that that's a very efficient way to organize people, but not really the best way to learn. We think the best way to learn is when students have much more control and freedom over fundamental decisions of how they're going to use their time and where they're going to go in their day. We allow students to say, not because they're following a timetable, but because they've really chosen to do this, we allow them to say, I'm now ready to learn math. And I actually need only this amount of time for math. I don't need a full hour, I only need a half an hour. And then I need to do science, and I need 10 minutes in science, but I need an hour and a half in history. We think that's a beautiful way to learn, and that given that opportunity and those kinds of freedoms and the responsibility that goes with it, we think that students can really, really flourish.
Well, when you come in grade 9, whether you're a boy or a girl, academic, applied, whatever the case, you come in and you've got a certain skill set. It's going to be unique to your own. Some of it might fall into categories that are right in line with other people, but you're a unique person. What Mary Ward does is it says, okay, let's try to shore up some of the areas where you're not so great and let you really expand on the areas where you excel. Let you develop those yourself.
So the self-directed program really benefits students because it forces you to deal with procrastination, it forces you to be organized and really be honest with yourself about your strengths and your weaknesses.
We give students an opportunity to create a learning that works for them. For instance, we've had elite athletes, professional musicians, even humanitarians like Craig Kielburger come to Mary Ward.
Mary Ward is really unique and special, I think, because of the relationships that we have here. I think more than in any other school, we have a different relationship between the students in the building and the teachers in the building. It's less one of the teachers having all the answers. Instead, we become co-learners with the students.
The teachers here have designed courses and classes and programs and material that is in line with that curriculum, and it's delivered to the students in a unique way. And when I say delivered, I don't mean the teacher is necessarily teaching it the whole time. I mean literally delivered, handed over, and the student is in charge of taking control of their own education. Sometimes we say, here's what you need to learn, and show us how you've learned it, and sometimes we say, here's generally the topic we want you to learn about. Come back and show us what you've learned.
And we're not just looking, okay, finish the assignment, but hopefully, in that unit, in that project, they learn to develop other skills too. And meanwhile, they would let us know, the students would let us know, okay, this is what I need, and that's what I need to learn along the way to complete this task, this project, this assignment.
Yeah, Mary Ward's impacted me in every aspect of my life in my high school career. From how I interact to how I think, everything really has been affected by the amazing community and culture here at Mary Ward. It really is the diversity that really makes Mary Ward as unique as it is.
If Mary Ward has removed some of the fundamental structures that hold other schools together, like the walls and those clocks, the whole thing could potentially fall apart because you're giving students a lot of freedom. So when you remove a structure, we think it's very important that you replace it with another structure that is very authentic to the learning, and we call that the teacher advisor.
Teacher advisor is equal parts teacher, guidance counselor, parent, and friend. Teacher advisors have to be there to help a student get back on track when they fall behind. They have to be there to encourage a student to focus on their schoolwork when they might be a little distracted.
Having a student connect with an adult right away when they come into high school in grade 9 is an opportunity that no other school really gives. Many students will go through high school not connecting with any adults, but here we try to encourage that as much as possible, and from day one they have a TA, someone to look out for them, to be there for them, and just to make sure everything is okay. And sometimes that's what a student needs, just someone to be there for them.
Ward has helped me grow as a person. From like grade 9 to grade 12, I could see like a huge progression in the way I am. I'm able to talk to people better. I'm not afraid of new challenges and things like that. It has also helped me to push myself to try new things.
Having that program to push them to their limits, to their potential, in terms of not just a percentage mark, but their own skills in terms of organizing, self-advocating, speaking to another adult, and things like that. Those are intangibles that our school provides them. And many of the students that come back to Mary Ward after moving on to post-secondary have said that, wow, we've learned a lot of things that are non-academic that has contributed to our successes as students later on.
I am Ward.
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 I am Ward. We are Ward. 나는 워드다.
올해와 워드.
매우 Ward.
Ako ang Ward.
Je suis Ward.